Hello, everyone. Today, this is Danielle. Welcome to the close. We have sound and screens. D Money, hello. Thank you. How is everyone else doing today? Did those of you that went to the event have a great time? Hi, Danielle. Missed you in Austin. I know I missed you guys too. It was awesome. Great. Danielle, we missed you in Austin. Yeah, well, I definitely will not be missing an event again. So had a really difficult time here by myself at home. Because my 3-year-old is extremely attached to my husband, and he was like traumatized that he was gone for 4 days because he's never gone anywhere without him. So, yeah. Even when he came back, he was like, "Daddy's not gonna leave again, is he?" He was so upset. He wouldn't even sleep after he got back. But yeah, I definitely won't be missing the next event. So I will be looking for a travel nanny of some sorts. Danielle, got a copy of your kids' investing book. Looks really good. What age group did you target for it? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. So I originally made it for kids ages 8 to 12, but then I tried to have my siblings do it who are in their 20s and 30s. And they were like, this book is way too hard. You can't have 8-year-olds do it. And I told them it's supposed to be like a homeschool book where the adult helps them, you know? Um, so my son is 12. So I made it for, that kind of age range. I'm thinking like 10 plus, but I mean, if you have an adult helping the child, I think that they could probably do it if they're younger. You can get it on Amazon. And if you guys wanted to, you could absolutely write me a review. I would really appreciate it. Here's the link. I was also thinking about I don't know, doing something fun with the book. But you can just search for Danielle Shay on Amazon and then it'll come up. Or this is the very long link, it looks like. But yeah, let me know what you think about the book. There's a link for it. I got a lot of people saying that they wanted an adult version. So I think I'm going to try to make an adult version. Thank you. You can drop everything off after the product ID. Thank you. Gonna buy a copy for my godson. Awesome. Maybe JC can have one of the kangaroos babysit for you next time in Austin. Yeah, I mean, the problem was it's like a 12-hour thing. You couldn't really, there wasn't really anybody that could watch the kids for that length of time. But I don't know. We'll figure something out next time. We'll bring grandma with us or an aunt or something. But let's go ahead and get back to the analysis here. Let me see if there's anything that I can do. I've gotten a couple different day trades on recently at the end of day. So I'm interested to see if there's one of those setting up here today. Let's see. Thoughts on calm, INTC, multiple squeezes coming off the lows. Yeah, finishing the book was no easy undertaking. It took me 10 months from start to finish, which was a lot longer than I thought. Your husband should have taken your 3-year-old with him. He can greet all the ST members. I mean, he could have gone with him if I went also, but there's no way he could have. He's very, very mischievous. So he could not have gone without both of us. He was so naughty, I can't even tell you. The first day he was gone, like, he took a full roll of toilet paper, put it in the toilet. I was a little upset when Daryl left Austin to go back. Okay, all in on Netflix, Apple, Google, and Amazon. Andrew, miss getting to say goodbye to you on Friday. Enjoyed our trading on Friday. Awesome. I have benefited from a few of your zero DTE trades. Keep them coming. Your tick analysis is very interesting. 3-year-olds in their prime when needing to be watched. He wanted to see the cause and effect. After looking it over, I thought you did a very good job, but I think you're correct would be best for a child in homeschooling with an adult to help go through it. Yes. And that's really kind of what I meant it for. I didn't really mean it for just a kid to do it by themselves. They probably could if they're older, like 12, 13. So I changed the age range to 10 plus. I mentioned it earlier. You might like Rivian here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start looking at these. Let me start off with the indexes first. Um, so I mean, it looks to me like we're setting up for a long here, but it's going to depend on the tick action. So if we're looking at the ticks, what we want to see for a long is we want to see a move up into the plus 500 range, and we want to see the tick stay there. At this moment in time, there's not really any buying or selling, and we just have flat tick action. So typically when the tick action is flat, that's generally a good time for a neutral iron fly to just sell some premium. But I don't normally do that on a day where we had such strong price action for quite a long time. And we're still trending higher. So I mean, I would say that I'm leaning bullish to neutral as of right now, but we still need about another 20 minutes to see if any buyers or sellers come in for that last 30 minutes of the day. So it looks like we're making new lows on the VIX. So that speaks to a potential long. The vol spread is bullish because the vol spread has been climbing higher throughout the vast majority of the day. We also have the put call going lower. So all of these things are just demonstrating that there's buying happening. If you look at the NASDAQ, you can see that there's another price target up here, 25,700, I would say. So we're not that far away from that zone. Then 25,750. On this ticker right here, the S&P futures, looks like we have 68.80, but that's not that far away from where we are right now, which is 68.77. So I mean, it's not really going to do much for us. 6,900 is definitely the next upside target in the S&P futures. Could we get there today? We just need to break out of this range. So let's see. And I mean, for those of you guys who have the book too, definitely let me know what you think, because I have all the content obviously, so I can change it, and I was thinking about making one for adults, making one for high schoolers. The reason why I made it for the age group that I made it for is because I have homeschooled my son, and that's what age he is. And I was trying to find content for his age. But then after talking to a bunch of people, everybody's like, we needed this for high schoolers and like adults. So I'll take your feedback into consideration and make some adjustments. Okay, let's see here. So next target, 25,700. So we do have a 5-minute squeeze on the NASDAQ. Don't have a 15-minute squeeze. Homeschooled our 3 kids, 2 engineers and an actress. Well, I would love to hear what you think of the book. I can definitely, I can send you a digital version if you want to email me. I can send anybody a digital version. I tried to put it on my website actually, so anybody could download the digital version, but I ran into some technical difficulties. Daryl, send help. But I was going to make the digital version like free on the website. The only reason I couldn't just hand out the other one is because, you have to get it printed from Amazon. I was thinking about just buying a giant stack though and mailing some out. Let's see. And great job homeschooling, by the way. So let's see. Really nice price target at 7,000 in the S&P futures. I mean, I don't see anything that looks bearish. Nice daily squeeze here. Yeah, if you want the digital version, just email me, Danielle at Simpler Trading, and I'll just send it to you in an email. The reason why I couldn't upload it was because the file size was too big. So, but I can send you like a Google Drive link. So just email me at Danielle at simplertrading.com. So let's see here. Well, we have a 5-minute squeeze. It is a slingshot squeeze. No 15-minute squeeze. For like a really good end of day trade, you generally want like a 5-minute squeeze, 15-minute squeeze, 30-minute squeeze. It may be worth just selling an iron fly, honestly. You're trading right at 68.53. Let me just look at it. CRWV, what a caca. Yeah. Charles Payne's producers texted me and they were like, "Are you still long CRWV?" And I was like, "No, I got out of that when it broke the 50 simple on the daily chart." So I don't know what that was about, but we definitely got out of that one. Those momentum stocks are really good when they have momentum. But when they run out of momentum, it's just one of those things where you just got to bail on it. Let's see, 68.50. Danielle, why don't you do an ebook? That way people from all over the world can use the book. I mean, I can. It's supposed to be like it's a workbook, you're supposed to write in it. So I wasn't sure that the ebook would be of value, but I mean, if you wanted to print it off yourself, or if you have one of those, I don't know what kind they are, but one of those tablets that you can actually like write on documents. I think it's good to obviously, see it. Like you can see it and look at it with the ebook, but I don't know what kind of program you could use to actually do all of the activities because it has like crossword puzzles and word searches and stuff in it. Just a thought, if you have a business, you can pay your kids about $15K a year tax-free, put it into a Roth IRA. You can include that in the book and other ways to create wealth. As a business owner, you don't have to pay SSI for your kids. Talk to a CPA. Thank you. Great idea. So I think I'm going to do this for now. I mean, this is like a pretty good credit. $6 credit for $10 wide, 68.50 iron fly, 0 DTE expiration. I'm going to try to get out of this like 15 minutes before the close. See if I can get filled. How do you get the tick on TD Ameritrade? You just put the dollars, you just put a $sign TICK. I've heard it's either 7,500 or 15,000 about the Roth IRA for kids. I actually tried to open one for Leo last year or the year before, and my accountant said that he was too young. But now he's 12 and I have pictures of him working at the money show, so I was going to try it again. All right, so let's start going through some of these requests. I'm just going to watch this for right now. If we start getting a bunch of tick action one way or the next, I'll close the neutral trade. But I think for right now, getting $6 of premium when there's still 42 minutes left in the cash session for $10 wide is still pretty good. So I'll see if I can buy it back for maybe $4 or so. While I go through the rest of these requests. Okay, so Netflix. It's on the 17th already. So when they first announced the split, I was a little bit disappointed just because it was down below the 200 simple. And as a general rule, I do not buy stocks down below the 200 simple like that because they're pretty broken. So I originally did not trade the run into the split on Netflix for that reason. However, at this point, now it's breaking up above the 200 simple. And I do like buying stocks when they break up above the 200 simple because you generally get like a pretty good high volume push. And you are seeing volume coming into this name and breaking out. And we have some nice lower time frame squeezes too. So, I mean, I think that you could do a move. You could trade a move higher in this because of the split. So it looks like the split is on the 17th. So you really only have this week. Let's see, 1150, 1200 is pretty high. I would say probably 1150. Let's see. So you're trading at 1136. $27 expected move. So if you targeted 1150, I think that's pretty conservative for a rally going into the split because you only need another, 15 points higher or so. So I feel like you could probably do, let's see, 11. So, I mean, you could probably do something like this where you do 1130, 1150, 1170, and you're spending $4.63 a contract. For a $20 wide butterfly, I mean, that gives you a pretty decent range to the upside for a Netflix rally going into the split. So I do like that. You could make it a little bit tighter also, where you did 1135, 1150, 1165, and that would cut your cost basis down a little bit more. But it would just be at the money. So in that case, if Netflix starts pulling back, this would end up, completely out of the money. And in that situation, you would lose the premium that you're paying. So, I mean, I feel like either one is fine. Paying $3 for a $15 wide butterfly is really good because the max you could close it for if it trades up into 1150 is going to be $15. So, I mean, I like that. You're paying $550 for a max of 2450. So, I mean, that's a really good risk to reward. So, I'm going to do that one too. $500 butterfly trade. This is a short-term rally into the split on Netflix trade. Netflix will split on 11/17. Today, it's breaking above the 200 SMA on the daily chart. And it has multiple squeezes. I will be out of this by Friday. Ideally, trades up into 1150. If it breaks lower, then I will likely lose the debit paid, which was $2.75 per contract. Danielle, are you going to the money show in December? I am not going to the December one. The December one is just way too far away for me. It's in Sarasota, and it was going to be like a 10-hour journey. But then I saw pictures of Sarasota, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go there next time. But I definitely want to go to the Vegas one in February. Okay, and then if we look at these lower time frame squeezes, so I mean, I feel like this looks pretty good. Oh, you did a fly on Netflix. Sorry, I didn't see yours. Yeah, I think the broken wing is a good idea. Oh, you copied me. Just like the idea broke the wing. How did you do it? Will Horsley, I met you in an Orlando Money Show. Awesome. Well, great to talk to you again. Hey, Debbie. How's it going? 1160 on the upper wing. Nice. Do you still have PSTG? Yes, I still have PSTG. So I was just looking at this one right before I came on. I don't love the way that it's breaking below the 50 simple, but it's just barely breaking below the 50 simple. So fingers crossed that this holds and it bounces from there, because the setup still looks pretty good. A buy spot at the 50 simple is generally my favorite spot to buy. So it's one of those things where if I'm in a trade and it goes right down to the 50 simple, I'm generally not going to close it, because that's usually a really good buy spot. So, I don't love that it's down 5%, but we did have a situation with tech and Nvidia today. So, ideally, this one holds this 87 price point and still bounces, because the setup still looks good and I still have time on it. If this was like a shorter term trade, maybe I would get out of it. But as of right now, I think that this one looks fine. However, if it does one of these situations right here, this is when I bail. A break below the 50 simple like this, do you see how it broke below the 50 simple and it was not able to recover? That's when you're just completely hosed. So, because a lot of people have their stops there, it just completely flushes. So I did get out of CRWV. I had the 2X ETFs on that one, and I got out of it because of the 50 simple flush. So if PSTG or any of the tickers that I'm in do that, then that's where I would get out. Okay, let's see. We're hitting right up at 12:30. Yeah, the money show in Sarasota is at the Ritz. I know. Looks like a great time. I really enjoy doing the shows, so I was very sad that I didn't get to go to the last event, but I have two little kids, the 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. They're not going to be this small forever. And my mom did say she could watch them for 2 days, but honestly, like, I had such a difficult time watching them without Daryl here, so I don't think I should leave them with grandma for that long. She was like, "I can probably do it, but" she wanted me to just, like, fly out on Thursday and come back Saturday morning, and it was kinda like, "Well, that's" hopefully your kids will do the same for you if you need it one day. Let's see, Amazon. Let's see, Amazon's at 250. Yeah, I was like that husband that's always calling his wife when he's in a grocery store. I don't know if that was a commercial at one time or something. "What kind of food do I buy?" That was, like, literally me calling. She was for your entire childhood. IWM. Oh, you're 45 minutes away from Sarasota? Nice. So, I don't know what to do here with Amazon. I mean, uh, I love the ticker, looks great. I don't really have a setup on it, you know? You already have a daily squeeze that fired. You don't have any lower time frame squeeze. Um, I've had this price target on it at 264 for a long time, so that's my long-term price target. The main thing I've been doing with Amazon is buying the shares. So, whenever a ticker has a weekly squeeze like this is just time to buy shares. Buy shares, buy shares, buy shares. Um, that's just what I do with it. Lower time frame chart, I haven't really been doing much. All right, SPX is starting to break down. Let's see if we need to get out of the neutral play. Hold on. We're getting a negative 230 tick. All right, let's see if this bounces back. Hopefully, you'll do the same for your kids if needed one day. Oh, yeah. I would love to take care of the grandkids. 252 may set up today. She was for your whole childhood. Yeah, I mean, my mom is really good with the kids. I just have a miniature Daryl that is extremely mischievous. Well, it looks like we got a negative 230 tick, but it immediately bounced. What has this been on for 30 minutes? Darn it. Yeah, last hour of the day. A rich trader like you doesn't have a nanny. I have a nanny that comes to my house every day, but she is 15. She just turned 16. And my husband and I were not in we just weren't really like she's great. She's a mother, like she's a mother's helper, because we're here all the time, but we weren't super confident that we wanted to travel with someone else's minor child and, leave them in a hotel and all of that. So, cuz she's, you know, 16 years old. So, but she's absolutely amazing with the kids. She's just always watching them when we're here, not when we're gone for 12 hours in a strange city in a different hotel. Let's see. Really getting no action here. Yeah, we all had to keep an eye on Daryl and Austin. Constant mischief. Okay, let me go back and look at the SPX trade. But yeah, I don't see anything to do with Amazon other than look for Prime deals for Black Friday. Thoughts on Ion Q? Ask John about Swedish au pairs. What do you think about Apple's breakout today? Yeah, we can look at that. So if the S&P starts breaking down, I will need to close this neutral trade. Let me just see if there's a bearish trade I might want to put on if it does start breaking down. And I want to look at OKLO for earnings too. Might end up selling like a neutral iron fly on that. I had a Thai nanny that traveled with us and she cooked. Nice. All right. So if we look at the options chain, I mean, there's still, 68.50 definitely has the most action here. We are weakening up a little bit. The vol spread is shifting lower. We have the VIX that's shifting higher. We have the put call that's shifting higher. So those things do speak to a potential little flush here at the close. We also have a nice little red candle popping up here. We have a red candle popping up here, red candle popping up here. The thing about the neutral trade is it's really just kind of about sitting on your hands. It's like, it trades higher, trades lower, doesn't really go anywhere, and the premium decays. That's how it should work. But if we start breaking down, then like actually breaking down, then, we don't want to have a neutral trade on. So it seems to me like the beginnings of a bearish move right here. Is it one of those things where it's like, okay, it's time for me to close it? I don't know that I see that just because the ticks are completely neutral. But if we do end up getting a flush, I mean, 68.40 is the zone that sticks out just because that has the 69,000 contracts there. But because I already have an options contract open right there, it would not be possible for me to do a butterfly at that strike. So I would probably have to do maybe like 68.45, 68.35, 68.25 if I wanted to add a bearish trade and then close out the neutral trade. So I think I'm just going to wait on this one just for a little bit longer, and I'm going to continue going through the requests. Let me look at United Healthcare. All in on CRWV. Are you short? Because that one to me looks like a short. I mean, I can go back and look at it, but usually when something breaks through the 50 simple and then gets hammered on earnings. Okay, so United Healthcare. I just really don't see anything that I can do with that. Um, I mean, it couldn't get through the 200 simple. It broke through the 50 simple. Yes, it's holding the 100 simple, but I wouldn't really consider it bullish. I mean, you could probably trade it from 320 up into 340, but that's about the max of what I would consider doing with that one. I don't like that the overall trend is so broken. I mean, yes, it has recovered from the lows, but after that last earnings report, it failed. CRV reported good earnings. They have a supplier problem, didn't deliver to them and meet customer demands. Yeah, but I mean, the actual report and then the reaction are two different things because I mean, if you and this is when it gets back to, okay, what are you doing with it? Are you trading it on a short-term basis or are you um buying it because you want to hold it for the next, 5, 10, 15 years? If you want to buy and hold it down at this area of support, I have absolutely no problem with that. I will tell you that if it breaks this area of support, this thing is hosed and you're, $4, $5 away from it and you move $16 today on high volume with a 15% move lower. So, with this one as a short-term options trade, I would say if it breaks this low right here, this thing is going to flush hard. So, for me personally, whenever I see something getting hammered on earnings like that, my reaction would be to short it, not to go long. If you were trying to find a long-term buy spot to buy shares, I don't really see a problem with it. Um, like I said, unless it breaks that low, then you're going to end up all the way down here at 50. But when you're dollar cost averaging with something that's really aggressive and moves a lot, I don't really see a problem with it, Meta weekly squeeze has fired to the downside. That is no good, but that might actually be at targets already. Yeah, it looks like one target here, another target here. So, fired to the downside, lost momentum. It's starting to claw its way back. 15-minute squeeze. You could probably trade it up into like 630, 635. But again, this is why I always say, if it breaks the 50 simple or breaks the 200 simple, like short it, because these kinds of moves, when a ticker breaks a major support zone like that, it is just a stop loss zone. People are getting out left and right, and the thing just flushes and dies. So, there's just so many tickers to trade. It's like, why try to mess with something that is getting destroyed? Like Apple, this looks great here. 195-minute squeeze, relative strength. It's up 2% today. Let's look and see about the price target. I mean, I would say 300 is the next major price target, maybe by the end of the year. But as of right now, 280, 285, I think Apple looks great. Now, there's something to be said for the fact that the entry point is not that great because it's up 2%. So you don't have the best entry with an edge, but you have relative strength, you have the trend, you have something that has a potential options expiration trade at the 280 strike. So, you could do 275. 280. 285. So this butterfly is only going to cost you $1.30 for a $5 wide fly. So, I mean, I like this. Pretty good, pretty decent. This is a good options expiration trade, I think. The only bad part about this is that, it's expiring in 3 days, so if it doesn't work, you're going to lose that premium, but I think overall it looks really good. Have a 195-minute squeeze, options expiration. Danielle, how are you looking? JP Morgan, thanks. So, I mean, I like JP Morgan a lot. I just think that I hope you're already in it because 320 was the target on that and it traded up into 319.56. The next target after that is going to be 325. The squeeze is already fired. There could still be some more upside price action. It just looks like the better entry was down here at about 305. So, if you're not already in it, it just seems a little bit late, especially because it's a bank stock. It's not like a tech stock that hits the highs and explodes or anything like that. But I mean, I think overall the ticker looks really good. Pattern looks really good. Setup looks good. I just don't think it's great for an entry right here. What do you do here with NVIDIA? Sold half of my leaps at the open, fearing it would get crushed today, but now holding. I'm just going to hold this baby until the end of time. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's like the best stock in my portfolio. It's just, anytime I've sold any of it, I've just regretted it deeply. It was down today on news about SoftBank closing, like selling like $5.8 billion of it. But I think the pattern still looks great. I think earnings is coming up. Let me see when that earnings report is. 19th. So might be able to just sell some premium on this. Because they don't actually have very big earnings moves recently. So I don't know. I mean, we might end up getting some big move over earnings, but I mean, I would just hold it. They generally beat estimates. They generally do well. Last quarter, it was a little bit lackluster, but just overall, just kind of a big nothing burger. Don't forget about Oklo earnings. Yes, let's get to that. Hood. So I think Hood looks great. This was actually one of my top setups that I found when I was doing all of my notes for Charles Payne. I think it looks awesome. You're holding at the 50 simple. You have the squeeze. I don't like that there's a big red candle today. That means that candle is down below the 34 EMA and the trend is starting to shift to the downside. So I don't love that as a sign, but I mean, in general, tickers like this that have such a strong trend hold the 50 simple. Um, and I mean, you can see that the last time it went down to the 50 simple, this was like my last really good buy spot in this name. So, um, you know, I I like it. Unless it breaks the 50 simple like with a big vengeance, then um only then would I kind of change my mind on it. All right, so this one's already down 6% today. So I'll just tell you in general, when you have a big name like this and it's already down big before the earnings report even comes, I usually just sell a neutral iron fly because it's already had a big move. So um looks like it's pricing in about a 10% move over the earnings report. Which, I mean, it could happen, but like I said, it's already down 6%. So let me just look at a neutral iron fly on this and see if I can just sell some premium. And then am I the only one in Rivian? So I'll just tell you, it's just not my favorite kind of. I'll get back to Rivian for you, but it just I don't really like those reversals off of the lows. There, yes, Rivian was reversing off the lows. Yes, it does have short float. I watched this new show on Peacock called All Her Fault that was so good. And the main character was driving a Rivian. I was like, "Oh yeah, they're trying to place that, making it look cool." It did look kind of cool. I think John has one. Um but I just don't really like the pattern, to be honest. Okay, let's see. 115. But that being said, I mean, if you want to try it, just because I don't really like those reversals off the lows doesn't mean that, you can't trade them and like them. I think I'm going to have to close the SPX Iron Butterfly too because we're starting to get some buying coming through. But I want to get this one on. So this is just a neutral iron fly for OKLO earnings with the idea that there's just a ton of premium. And I just want to sell this premium in this name. So the idea would be, okay, let's, sell it today, try to buy it back tomorrow. Let's see here. You only have $2.50 of risk per contract. That's like basically nothing for one, contract. I'm going to keep these around the $500 risk that I normally use for the trading room. So risking 500 for 1500, that's 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. To open, this is a neutral earnings trade for OKLO. I guess I should have confirmed when the earnings report is. Today after market. The idea is that I will sell the premium today and ideally buy it back for a profit tomorrow. I will try to close out my trade around $5. All right, so the SPX trade is currently up 35% or so. That's really not bad for a neutral iron fly like this. So there's 8 minutes left in the day. Your choice right now is either to take the money and run or try to cross your fingers and hope that it pins at 68.50. Those are the two options. When you have 8 minutes left, this is pretty much always the time that the market starts moving. So that's why I generally always close these at this moment. So you can see by the candle here on the SPX. So you're already starting to kind of rip. You're getting some volume coming in. You're not really getting high ticks. Let's see if this pauses here. I might have waited 1 minute too long. Oh, I think I waited 1 minute too long. All right, ticks are back down at -35, but the vol spread is still going higher. All right, ticks are back down into -215. Update for PSTG. So I'm still holding that right now. It's down 5% today. It's sitting on the 50 simple. Um, you know, there's no there's no reason for me to close it today because it could easily bounce right there at that 50 simple. All right, so this is at 50% profit now. So I think it's fine to just take this at 50% profit. Could it be at 100% profit in 4 minutes? Yes, it could be. So with these kind of SPX trades, it's really difficult to get out right at the very end of the day like this. So I mean, you can let it cash settle. You can also see that there's a range here. If you really want to get out, you basically just have to, you just have to pay up. So if it's going between 290 and 305, then you could pay up at like 305. Basically the way that this works is just the options that are still worth money in this case are the 6850 call and the 6850 put. So if you look at this one, because the 6850 call is out of the money, the price of that call will actually go to 0 if that stays out of the money. And right now it's at $1. So that dollar would then go into your account. The 6850 put is still worth $2.25 because that's how far it is in the money. So you just kind of have a situation here where it's like, do you want to try to close it right now when you have 3 minutes left? Or do you want to try to let it cash settle? And then, ideally you can squeeze out a little bit more. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and try to close it. Okay, so I'm out at 350. So that was about like 45%, I think. So that's pretty good for a day trade. If it just, flushes here too quickly, then that 50% like can just be lost. So, can you let it cash settle? Yeah, you can let it cash settle, but you don't know what it's going to be worth when it cash settles. You see what I mean? So it looks like John had something that he was doing also. All right. Was there anything else I forgot to do? I guess I can go back and look at Rivian. Oh man, it is really breaking out, isn't it? I mean, I guess I could be tempted by this. So, I don't like the reversals off of the lows, but when you have the reason why I don't like the reversals off of the lows as much is because you have a lot of overhead resistance. So, you have resistance here, 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 resistance here. So, that just makes it a huge pain. But I will say that today, because it broke through this level and this level here, and it's up 9%, that actually looks pretty good. So if I were in it, let me look at the lower time frame chart. With it going out on the highs of the day like that with 21% short float, I would probably still hold it. I would probably scale out a little bit, but still hold it. And your next target would be 1867, then 20. John says for tomorrow he has a 68, 70, 6900, 63, 6930 butterfly. Yeah, I think that one looks really good. I got calls this morning for December, but I'm up almost 50%. First world problems for Rivian. I don't know. Weekly squeeze just fired. It's also in a monthly, 20% short interest. Yeah, I think the $20 price target is good. I guess there is a weekly squeeze. Weekly squeeze does look pretty good. And, like I said, you are breaking a lot of those resistance zones. If you could get up above this one right here, especially, then it could probably rip pretty good. All right, let's go back and look at the SPX settlement. 68, 46, 64. So I probably made myself a little bit more money by closing it. It's always hard to say, those last 3 minutes. Take the money and run. That's right. All right, great. Well, I think that's all I have for you guys today. Looks like I got all the questions. I cash settled and made 28%. Nice. All right. Well, we'll have to see what ends up happening with this earnings report. I'll definitely let you know tomorrow how I'm managing the trade. For us old people, it's take the money and walk briskly. That's funny. Nice trade. Thanks, Danielle. Awesome. Yeah, I've gotten a few of these SPX trades in a row. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you're interested in joining the trading room, I'll go ahead and post the link in the chat. I'm in the trading room on Tuesdays at the close, Wednesdays the hour before the close, and Friday at the close. So, it's a pretty good time. Here's the link. If you sign up using my link, then you can also get a couple different bonuses. I have if you scroll down here, you'll see everything that's included. Live trading, alerts, daily videos, learning center, premium newsletter. We have a monthly trader call. And then as far as like the bonuses, it also comes with my butterfly class, which is where I teach my butterfly strategy. And then you also get these tools too. So I have the trend strength turbo candles. Those are my candles that I use to determine the trend. Those are included when you sign up, I think for quarterly. So I'll go ahead and post the link there below so you can see what's in here. With a quarterly sign up, you get the trend strength turbo candles and the turbo VZO, which are these signals down here. So it shows volume and how it's shifting. And then with the annual membership, that's where you also get the class too. How often are you doing it live on YouTube? I'm doing it every Tuesday at the close. Yeah, and then our trading room is open all day long during the market hours. We don't have anybody on the mic during lunch, but the first 2 hours of the day and the last 3 hours of the day, we always have somebody on the mic. So we trade off between our different traders as far as who's in the trading room. But yeah, I mean, we have like a ton of alerts and stuff that we post. I can just show you what it looks like right now. Obviously, I just turned off my broadcast. So normally my broadcast would be right here. But these are all the questions people are asking John about the trade that he did. And right here, you can see where we have all of the alerts that go out. People can, click on an individual trade and ask questions. So you can see the alert that I posted that you guys saw about the Netflix trade that I did, the neutral iron fly that I did. Henry does updates twice a day as far as what the indexes are doing and, the main tickers that we're looking at. And then down here we have a chat. So, you can chat with all of us. I made more money in the last 15 minutes than the entire day. Nice. Nice trade, Danielle. So anyways, when you can hear me reading the comments, I'm reading them from the chat right here and then also from the chat on the live stream. I'm going to go ahead and sign up. I've been doing the OCC training. Awesome. What is the OCC training? If I did a trial with a different trader, do I still get to do a trial with you? Yeah, I mean, you can do a trial. This is for, I don't know which trader you're talking about, but this is for the main mastering the trade room. So, this trading room has me, Henry, John, Sam, Bruce, primarily. And so some of the other traders have their own individual services, but this one right here is the group trading room. But yeah, I mean, you should be able to sign up for a trial. You can get a 30-day trial, check it out. And that's where you can find me. If you have any questions, you can email me at Danielle@SimplerTrading. And if you want a digital copy of the book, I would be happy to send it to you. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.